Okay, dear students, in this part, so let us continue this one. See here, we already know that convex lens produce both real and virtual image. If I consider concave lens, so let us consider the image formation produced by the concave lens here. Say this is what the concave lens. So concave lens is one. The physical structure of concave lens should be written like this. Thin at the edges, thin at the middle, thick at the edges. Principal axis. So principal focus here, F optic center. If I consider the linear object here, this is what the linear object. A ray passing parallel to the principal axis like this. So since it is a diverging lens, the light rays are diverging, so it appears to diverge from the principal focus here. So it can pass like this. Another ray passing directly through the optic center should be written like this. See, this is all the another ray. Wherever these two rays can intersect, there the image of this object is formed. Here it is AB is the object, A dash, B dash is the image. If I place at any position of this principal axis, only one type of image is formed. That image is always virtual. And it is small in size. Therefore, magnification M is equal to, for virtual image, magnification is positive. Image distance divided by object distance. Image distance divided by object distance. So this M is always less than 1 because this concave lens can always produce virtual diminished image. So it won't produce real image. So that is a very important point. So concave lens can always produce only virtual image. But convex lens can produce both real image as well as virtual image depending upon the position of the object. Okay, so now let us move on to the next concept that is very important. Combination of thin lenses. A thin lens is one whose radius of curvature is very large value, whose thickness is very small. Come to the next concept. Combination of lenses. Combination of lenses. So in this combination, let us consider two thin convex lenses. According to your syllabus, we have only one derivation. So the derivation, to derive that, let us consider two thin convex lenses. This is first convex lens. Another convex lens is considered like this only here. So we have considered such that these two thin lenses are contact each other, such that they have common principal axis. This is the common principal axis for both the lens. Let us consider the resultant optic center comes where here. So let us consider resultant optic center is P here. Say this is lens L1 and this is lens L2. This is first lens and this is second lens. Lens L1 having focal length f1, lens L2 having focal length f2. Now if these two lenses are contact coaxially means single principal axis. Now how these two lenses can behave, how the resultant focal length can be obtained. So in this derivation we are consider the resultant of these two focal length. Now let us consider the object is some area. Consider a point object. O is the point object. Now consider an incident ray passing like this, which incident at this point. Okay, it's incident at this point. Now after refraction produced by the first lens, the refraction takes place and the light can pass like this. So suppose if the lens is not present, it may proceed in this direction. The image is formed here. Let us consider that image is I1. Now what happens? O to P is object distance U and P to I1 is image distance V1. V1 is the image distance. Now actually the image is not formed here because we have considered two lenses. Again refraction of light takes place by the second lens also. Final the image is formed at this point. This is the image formation point. So consider final image is I is formed at distance V from the point P. Now for these ray diagram I consider lens formula. We know that lens formula. So everybody knows this. What is lens formula? 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. This is the lens formula. V is image distance, u is object distance, f is focal length. Now I want to consider the lens formula for the lens L1 in the absence of lens L2. For lens L1 only, I am considering L2 is not present. Now what happens? 1 by f1, because focal length of first lens is f1. 1 by f1 is equal to image distance is v1 because the image distance is v1 minus object distance is u, 1 by u. So it is equation number 1. Now the same formula is applied for the second lens L2. For lens L2 only, it means in the absence of lens L1. Now the light is already came here. This is incident ray for the second lens. So now this incident ray appears to meet at this point I1. That's why I1 acts like virtual object for the lens L2 and I is the real image. So object distance is V1, image distance is V. That's why 1 by f2. f2 is the focal length of lens L2, which is equal to, first we have to write the reciprocal of image distance, which is image V, 1 by V minus, which is object V1. So 1 by V1. So it is equation number 2. So this is very important concept. The image I1 formed due to lens L1. In the second case, the same image point acts like virtual object for the second lens. That's why this will become object distance, this will become image distance. Image distance, object distance. Now adding equation 1 and 2. Adding equation 1 and 2. LHS become 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2, which is equal to, in RHS, 1 by v1 plus 1 by minus of plus is minus only 1 by v1. So 1 by v1 get cancelled. The remaining term is 1 by v minus 1 by u. 1 by v minus 1 by, since we are adding these two equations. Equation 1 and 2. So it is equation number 3. Now let us consider, by combining these two, this acts like a single lens. These two will act like single lens whose focal length is f. L1 and L2 is the single lens whose point is P. This is object O, this is final image. This is image point and this is object point. U is object distance, V is image distance. Incident ray, refracted ray. Now for this resultant lens, 1 by f is the focal length. Resultant lens of the combination. So f1 and f2 collectively considered as f here, 1 by f is equal to, according to this formula, 1 by v minus 1 by u only. So equation number 4. Now compare equation 3 and 4. From equation number 3 and 4. See here, right hand side is same. It means left hand side is also same. Finally it will become 1 by f is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. Now if two thin lenses are contact coaxially, the reciprocal of the resultant focal length is equal to sum of the reciprocals of individual lenses. So this is the formula which can gives the resultant focal length f. Now, so I want to discuss one more definition here. Power of a lens. Power of a lens. So power of a lens is defined as the reciprocal of focal length. So very simple definition. And it can be expressed Power of a lens is the ability to diverge or converge the incident beam of light. That is what power of a lens. Mathematically, it can be defined as P is equal to 1 by F. The SI unit of a power of a lens is diopter. So very important for the examination. So this is the commonly asking question. Write the SI unit of power of a lens if it is a diopter. To define one diopter, if F is equal to 1 meter, whatever the value of P is said to be 1 diopter. So how to define power of a lens over diopter? 1 diopter. 1 diopter is a focal length of unit focal length having power is said to be 1 diopter. So that is what the definition of 1 diopter. So what is power of a lens? It is the ability to converge or diverge the incident beam of light. It is power. So mathematically it can be defined as power is equal to reciprocal of focal length. The SI unit of power of a lens is diopter. So the power is said to be 1 diopter if the focal length is 1 meter of the given lens. Okay, thank you.